Good evening. I'm so excited to see you. So excited to read to you. Tonight I am reading chapter 2. So this is The Science of Getting Rich, chapter 2. There is a science of getting rich. There is a science of getting rich, and it is an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. There are certain laws which govern the process of acquiring riches. Once these laws are learned and obeyed by any man or woman, he will get rich with mathematical certainty. The ownership of money and property comes as a result of doing things in a certain way. Those who do things in a certain way, whether on purpose or accidentally, get rich, while those who do not do things in a certain way, no matter how hard they work or how able they are, they remain poor. It is a natural law that like causes always produce like effects, and therefore any man or woman who learn to do things in a certain way will infallibly get rich. That the above statement is true is shown by the following facts. Getting rich is not a matter of environment, for if it were, all the people in certain neighborhoods would become wealthy. The people of one city would all be rich, while those in the other towns would all be poor. Or the habitats of one state would roll in wealth, while those of adjoining state would be in poverty. But everywhere we see rich and poor living side by side in the same environment, and often engaged in the same vocations. When two men or women are in the same locality and are in the same business, and one gets rich while the other one remains poor, it's shown that getting rich is not primarily a matter of environment. Some environments may be more favorable than others, but when two men in the same business are in the same neighborhood and one gets rich while the other one fails, it indicates that getting rich is the result of doing things a certain way. How about that? I love you. And further, the ability to do things in a certain way is not due solely to the possession of talent, for many people who have great talent remain poor, while others who have very little talent get rich. Studying the people who have gotten rich, we find that they are an average lot in all respects, having no greater talents and abilities than other men or women. It is evident that they do not get rich because they possess talents and abilities than other men or women have not, but because they have happened to do things in a certain way. These people are getting rich, and it is not the result of saving or thrifting, or many other penurious people are poor, while free spenders are often rich. Nor is getting rich due to doing things which others fail to do. For two men in the same business often do almost exactly the same things, and one gets rich while the other one remains poor or is bankrupt. From all these things, we must come to the conclusion that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. Yep, I think so too. If getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way, and if like causes always produce like effects, then any man or woman who can do things in a certain way can become rich, and the whole matter is brought within the domain of the exact science. The question arises here whether this certain way may not be difficult, that only a few may follow it. This cannot be true, as we have seen so far as a natural ability is concerned. Talented people get rich and blockheads get rich. Intellectually brilliant people get rich and very stupid people get rich. Physically strong people get rich and the weak and the sickly and the weak and sickly people get rich. Some degree of ability to think and understand is, of course, essential, but it is far natural ability and concerned. Any man or woman who has the sense enough to read and understand these words can certainly get rich. Also, we have seen that it is no matter of environment, location counts for something. One would not go to the heart of the Sahara and expect to be doing a successful business. Getting rich involves the necessity of dealing with men and women and of being where there are people to deal with. And if these people are inclined to deal with you in the way they want to deal, so much the better. But that is about as far as the environment goes. If anybody else in your town can get rich, so can you. And if anybody else in your state can get rich, so can you. Mommy's having some crazy hair going on. Again, it is not a matter of choosing some particular businesses or possession. People get rich in every business and in every profession, while their next door neighbors in the same vocation remain in poverty. Is it true that you will do best in a business which you like and which is congenital to you, or if you have certain talents which are developed well, you will do best in business which calls for the exercise of those talents. Also, you will do best in the business which is suited to your locality. An ice cream parlor would do better in the warm climate than in Greenland. And a salmon fishery will succeed better in the Northwest than in Florida, where there are no salmon. But aside from all the general limitations, getting rich is not dependent upon your engaging in some particular business, but upon your learning to do things in a certain way. If you are now in business and anybody else in the locality is getting rich in the same business while you are not getting rich, it is because you are not doing things in the same way that the other person is doing them. That's true. It has to be duplicatable and you just follow from the professionals. No one is prevented from getting rich by lack of capital. True. As you get capital, the increase becomes more easy and rapid. But one who has capital is already rich and does not need to consider how to become so. No matter how poor you may be, if you begin to do things in a certain way, you will begin to get rich and you will begin to have capital. Imagine that. The getting of capital is the part of the process of getting rich, and it is part of the result which invariably follows the doing of things in a certain way. You may be the poorest man on the continent and be deeply in debt. You may have neither friends, influences, nor resources, but if you do things in a certain way, you must infallibly get rich. For like causes must produce like effects, and if you have no capital gain, you can get capital. How about that? If you are in the wrong business, you can get into the right business, and if you are in the wrong location, guess what? You can get into the right location. And you can do so by beginning in your present business and in your present locations to do things in a certain way which causes effect. How about that? They don't even tell you what the certain way is. They just said, if you do this and you follow these rules. So I guess we will find in the next chapter what the certain way is. So until the next time I read you the chapter, I am all done for this time. I love you so much, and I'm so glad that you tuned in to watch me and see what Chapter 2 was all about. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.